maybe you just randomly from the algorithm clicked on this, but regardless, hello!
Let's begin, shall we?
Hello there. Hi. How is everyone's week going? Major on a 60 stream streak. Amazing. Major, you're the best. You're here for all of the streams. I appreciate you. Alright, let us start off, as we always do, with our movie puzzle. We got 10 minutes on the clock. We got a long name, but it's a hyphen in it. Mike is a bit quiet? That's surprising. Well done, Red. I will check it after we do this, because we are on a clock. Stuart. I think we've had this one before. Tropic Thunder, this will probably be Jack Black. Yeah, we have had this one before. It's Catherine Zeta-Jones. No? I don't know. If I can spell. C-E-T-A. Yeah, we've had this one before. So, hey, we got our success rate up to 94% though, so, you know, progress. Major said my mic is a bit quiet. Let's turn it up a little bit. Does that help? Yeah, it's getting into the yellow now. I don't know how else to turn it up more, so it's this or nothing. That helps? Okay. Yeah, so instead of Star Wars, because we've had that one before, we will try to fill in the grid instead. Alright, so we have Top Gun, Apollo 13, Oscar-winning actor/actress. We have to line that up against Mystic River, The Firm, and Sleepless in Seattle. So, The Firm and Top Gun is going to be Tom Cruise, right? Sleepless in Seattle and Top Gun is going to be Meg Ryan. She was Goose's wife. Has Meg Ryan won an Oscar? I feel like she might have, but I'm not sure. So Mystic River was Sean Penn, Tim Robbins. I know it was directed by Clint Eastwood, but I don't believe he was actually in the movie. And then Apollo 13, Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, and some other people. I don't know, it's been a long time since I've seen Apollo 13. I don't know. See, The Firm is tough because I always get that mixed up with a lot of the other um, lawyer movies from the time. So Mystic River, Sean Penn was in it. He's won an Oscar. So we'll go with that. So that at least fills out another bracket. So we're a third of the way there. So who from Top Gun was also in Mystic River? Well, I don't think it was Tom Cruise. I don't think it was Val Kilmer, although it could have been. Could have been Meg Ryan. And then who played Goose? Anthony Edwards? Something like that? So I think it could be any of those three, but I'm not sure which. Yeah, and Mystic River is another one I haven't seen in a long, long time. Same with The Firm. Yeah, I've seen all of these movies. It's just been probably over 20 years and like 3,000 movies ago. So, you know. Ah, struggle is real. Kevin Bacon, that's right, he was the other guy. Ooh, I thought you were right. No, Apollo 13, wrong. My mistake. You were right. I was wrong. Yep, big oof. Was Kevin Bacon in The Firm? This one I'm gonna guess. Meg Ryan? No? Okay. I don't know. I wonder if Kevin Bacon. No, because I think Kevin Bacon, I'm thinking of. Yeah, brain's not braining. It's fine. The movie, You Can't Handle the Truth. Tim Robbins was in Top Gun? Tim Robbins was in Top Gun. Okay. Yeah. I knew he was in Mystic River, but I didn't know he was in Top Gun as well. So, well done, Major. You are carrying us today. Because I don't think this will be Billy Crystal. Maybe Meg Ryan was in that? Nope. Nope. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that. Really? Okay. So I'm pretty sure that puts him here as well. I did not know he was in Sleepless in Seattle. Or I didn't remember he was in Sleepless in Seattle. Oh. It's because I was thinking of the wrong movie. I was thinking of When Harry Met Sally. Not that these two movie posters look, basically the same. Yeah, I was thinking Billy Crystal, not Tom Hanks. Yeah, and then for The Firm with Kevin Bacon, I was thinking of A Few Good Men. The other lawyer movie that was starring Tom Cruise. Yeah, I don't. We're looking up The Firm. Sidney Pollack directed. Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty sure Gene Hackman has won an Oscar, so we can just boop that one. And then Apollo 13 and The Firm. Ed Harris. There we go. It's always Ed Harris. Little bit of a struggle, especially, when I'm thinking of the wrong movie, but we were able to get there. Major carried us. Major, I hope you stretched out your back. Don't want you pulling anything carrying stream tonight. Alright, so, puzzle is done. Well, you're good? Nice. Alright, we are gonna try to do some writing. Hopefully, we're able to finish off this draft tonight, and then, I don't know, stuff and things. So last time we had Margaret absorbed all the magical aura from all the other witches, and got rid of all the hunters, freed all the other witches, and then Helene and Margaret both went to where Bryn was, so Bryn could tell them what they didn't know about magic that kept Helene alive, and then Bryn dies. And now we just have this little bit of this is all we got left. Alright, so let's look back at Naughty Dog. Hi, hello. How's it going? How is your week been? Alright, so from when Bryn dies, I want to kind of reread. Pretty good, pretty good. Nice. Okay, I'm going to change a bit of the end of this previous stuff. Because I think Helene would be more concerned with the other witches than Margaret would be. Sorry, need a sec. I'm trying to imagine what this actually looks like. No, not Brins. Okay, so we had in a scene previously that Helene saw a truck driving in with the other captured witches, so she would know that there was a way to drive into the base, so she knows there's something else other than just the elevator. So let's change that again. Because we can keep changing stuff as much as we want, forever and ever and ever. Got the Shining vibes. Come at it with us, 50, forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I just need a cute little blue dress and a twin. Yeah, that's all I need for that. Documentary. Uh, No worries, Major. Um, Naughty Dog made a reference to The Shining. Um, and I was like, oh, all I need is, the girl that was wearing the blue dress and then another twin to do the thing with me. And that's why Naughty Dog said, don't give Major any ideas. I do not need a cute little blue dress. Oh. I hate it when I think I have a good idea and then I realize what movie it came from. Just a sec. In talking about Bryn's death, I was gonna have Helene say, uh, make sure her sacrifice was worth it, or something like that. Saving Private Ryan, yes. Yeah, it's a pretty tropey trope. That's what this movie needs, a tiger tank. Yeah. So, I want to say kind of like she's inspired by the thought, but stirred, maybe? Rad loves ads. Let me tell you, ads are great. I'm so happy to watch them, so you get like 2 penny. Exactly. RAD stands for rad ads. Rad loves rad ads, ads love rads, rads. uh, Rallied? Yeah, we could say rallied. Uh, so let me think. How would I describe this? What would like the truck entrance to a secret base be called? Hmm. Secret entrance. A tunnel if it's on. Yeah. So it's a tunnel that they could bring trucks from above ground to the underground base. So what would the exit where the tunnel meets above ground be called? The exit. It's called the exit where the tunnel meets the above ground. Ate it? A burrow. No. Rad like shaft. I had a feeling Rad might have been trying to walk me into a trap with that one. Rad like shaft better. Go with that. Um, I don't know when any of this is happening. I think it's day. How far back do we have to go to see when we have an actual time of day stated? Moments later, later. Day. All right. We're gonna say night moments later. It's fine. Um, nope. Nope. Still nope. Large metal doors. All right. So what I'm trying to think of is them leaving the base, so getting out of the base into the desert, so they're no longer underground and they're free. But I just imagine a shot of like these big doors that would be used to drive trucks in, and the metal door just like turn to rust and then collapse, and then all the captured witches walk out. So we'll write that. Alright, so we have the doors collapse, we have the witches come out, and then so we need Margaret and Helene to kind of be on their own among them. No, it'd be more than 200 years. Be closer to like 4. Mariners! Hi, hello, welcome in. How's the hand? I don't know if you can actually see it. It's doing alright. Just have a big red mark on there now. But it's no longer bleeding all over the place, so progress. But yeah, when it initially happened, it was just bleeding all over the place. So that was a lot of fun to deal with first thing in the morning. I guess context would make sense for anyone who wasn't in book stream the other day. So what would it have been? Yesterday morning, Wednesday morning? I was making breakfast and I was doing something and my hand slipped and hit the underside of my counter and it just busted it open. So you can see nice little red spot there. So I had to like stop in the middle of everything and try to get stop bleeding, but it wouldn't. So I had to put on like a bandage and it was just kind of annoying to deal with all day. Yeah, walk it off. It'll be fine. But yeah, um, yeah, today I haven't had a band-aid or anything on it, so I'm just trying to let it air out and hopefully scab over so it starts healing. Uh, yeah, like I said, the reader thing, it kind of is what it is at this point. Nothing I can do about it, so we're moving on. Writing something else. Yeah. Yeah. How would you describe that? So the morning after, she was supposed to get burned at a stake, but survived. I don't know that she'd describe it as like when I woke up. I just think yeah, something more like that next morning. Sylvie, hi, hello, welcome in. How is your week doing? How you going? We're going. We are trying to make some progress, trying to get the stuff, the wording. Yeah, could be better, but surviving. Fair. That is the general mood. No, because we want this to be rebuilding. I asked this in Yun's chat, but wanted your input. I have major imposter syndrome at the moment, to the point I almost deleted all my work. Have you ever had that? If so, how do you get out of that mindset? Yes, I have had that. How do I get out of it? I don't know. For me, it's partly a, like, fuck everyone else, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I'm gonna write what I want to write, how I want to write it, and kind of, if anyone else doesn't like it, that's their problem, it's not my problem. Rad. Naughty Dog says alcohol, lots and lots of alcohol. I don't drink, so not really an option for me. If this was to do anything that was said in Discord, then please don't let it affect you. Just watch a Fiddy stream and realize how much better your work really is. Yeah, you could always do that. Okay, you don't drink either? Yeah. Yeah, like, part of it for me is just like, art is subjective. Not everyone is going to like or appreciate or understand um, what I'm trying to do. So at a certain point, it's just you have to remember why you started writing and kind of get back to basics. That's the best attitude. Write what you want to, even if you think it's stinker. Keep at it. Yes, everything you write, and especially finish, is practice and experience. Yes. Yeah, and this might just be a me thing, but I would also say like never ever fully delete all of your work. Like if you need to like move it into a folder within a folder somewhere deep on your um, computer, but I have so much old stuff on my machine that is complete garbage, but like I just don't like the idea of fully deleting anything I've done because it's all something built upon something else. Like I know why I'm feeling like this, I can't really escape it. Yeah, yeah, so I have anxiety, depression, some of the fun stuff to deal with. So, yeah, sometimes when I get feedback or something, it can hit harder than other times. And so, like, when you're in it at the moment, it's very difficult to kind of see your way through it and not let it overwhelm you. But like I said, like trying to refocus yourself on kind of why you started writing, what you want to get out of writing, um, has been kind of what works best for me. And just like our babies, we have our favorites and least favorites. I hope Rad's kids aren't in stream. If they are, hi. It's okay, my kids know. They ask me who's my favorite, and I say they're all equal. uh, good character building. Youngest kid privilege. just reenact the pool cue scene in The Dark Knight with them. We're gonna have tryouts. Does anyone have some good psychological horror movie recommendations? Probably. Hold. K-pop Demon Hunters. Are there subgenres in here? No. Yeah, I'm not accepting Polar Express. Okay. Does it actually say subgenres in here? Horror, thriller, twisted, dark, psychological. Okay. I don't know if I can copy this. All right. All right, Mariners. Yeah, I do not watch a lot of horror movies, so there are not a lot in here. Let's go with the big posters. Diabolique, I would recommend, is a French film from the mid-50s, but it is excellent. Screen's too big, can't see it. Mariner's hypothetical friend is thinking about turning his hypothetical horror short into screenplay. The real Chris, hi, hello, welcome in. I have not watched Obsession yet. It is on my watch list. It was supposed to come onto digital this week, but they pushed it because it's been doing so well at the box office, so I might have to go watch it in the theater. Okay. Psychological horror, The Shining. Great classic psychological horror. Psycho, I think you could qualify. It's more of a slasher. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It's very much like a classic movie. It comes from 1920, but it has some very interesting psychological aspects to it. May I suggest these ads as a psychological horror? Rad, you may do whatever you'd like. Sinners isn't really psychological horror. Cure, I would say, is. It's more of a crime horror, but it has some very twisted and psychological stuff. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, I haven't seen it since high school. Oh, since film school. Yeah, it is very good. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is a good psychological horror movie. Because if Mariners, if you're talking about the casino one, yeah, I think Diabolique is good. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, because they both have aspects of like manipulation. Um, yeah, I do not watch a ton of horror movies. Yeah, we have Lighthouse, which I think Naughty Dog suggested. Onibaba, yeah, I watched that for the first time not too long ago. It was interesting. Um, Funny Games is a good one, either version. It's more of like a home invasion, but there is some psychological horror in there as well. Repulsion is a very good psychological horror movie. Um, Catherine Deneuve is, uh, it has an unfortunate director, but uh, really good movie. Do we got anything else? No, we're into kind of other stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Those are some suggestions. Speaking of evil, but the original European one, not the American Garbo remake with the Americanized Garbo feel. Good ending. Yeah, I haven't watched either of those. Ever seen The In-Betweeners? No. I have not. The US remake is quite something. Meep. Not what I meant to do. It's okay. Was a TV show. I've only ever seen clips. UK one is like 10 times funnier. It's not worth it. Sylvie, no! US remakes are always, you're on the far side of the spectrum of quality. Yeah. Yeah, because I can think of a few American remakes of foreign films that have turned out really well, but yeah, there are also quite a few that have turned out really bad, so. Um, is there a better way for when someone ends a hug than to say, like, they pull away? Or, like, they. Is it like they disengage? Release? Uncouple? Retreats, recoil. I'm just gonna say uncouple. Body slam! Removes from presence. This is supposed to be a PG-13 film. Yeah. Then followed up with a stone cold stunner. Okay. I think I got the rest of this. Good spot. Write the ECW announcer too. Oh my god. You all. Yeah. We're halfway in. I just noticed it was a little after 6 already, so gonna take a quick break and throw up some words on stream. Yay! Um, um, no, rad. Yeah, words on stream, letters. You type the words. Be good. I'll be back soon. 3, 2, 1, go. I have returned. Excellent job, everyone. Um, are we doing a third one, or are we going back to writing? Oh, yeah, Major got you by 1. All right. Major says uno mas. Let's see how we do. I think this one has a fake letter in it. Okay, so the F is fake. F is for fake. Has anyone actually heard of that movie? Or is everyone just so in the zone they're just completely ignoring me? It's cool. I understand. I am unable to word. Everyone trying to get in the last one under the wire. Ah, chat, we're slacking. We only got 2 stars that time. Alright. Naughty Dog wanted one more so he could take the lead. Yeah, GG's. Naughty Dog with the gold, Major with the silver, Sylvie with the bronze. Rad, Mariners, and I helped out. But GG's everyone. Sylvie, you did better than me. Hi, hello, I have returned. Yeah, group effort. Good job, everyone. Duncan, hi, hello, welcome in. Yeah, we are a team. It is a team game. Hello there, 50 Face. Hello there, Duncan. Yeah, I have the camera now, so face. Speaking of psychological. Rad. Yep, You got me. Don't worry, 50, you look great for only being 25. Oh man, 25 was... That was a while ago. No, I guess you're right. 2025 wasn't that long ago. Dude, you were supposed to lie. Yeah, I don't care as much about my age as some other people might care about their age. So, it's fine. And plus, like, past a certain point, age is just a number. And also, like, I probably, well, if I shaved because I'm starting to get some gray in my beard, I would look younger than some people in their 20s, probably. Rad is fucking old. His words, not mine. Because 50 is aging like fine wine. Thank you, Major. Damn, shots fired at DiCaprio. Age like fine wine, us old guys. Major, Rad said her name. Her name is old. Age is an illusion. People look at me, see my kids, they look at me and go, 40s? I'm like, yeah, stress can do that. Don't let these young bucks give you shit. Like I said, if the only thing someone can give me shit about is my age, I feel like I'm doing okay. My 30s are fast approaching. My recent coworker thought I was 19. Quick, powerbomb chat on thumbtacks. Yeah, that is a true story. Major tried to get hot goth girls for me for Craigslist. uh, if you have more questions about that, you'll have to ask her, because yeah. Are there any left? Yes. Major wants to help everyone. Sorry, I don't think there's something we can just glance over. Maybe I'll talk about 50 as guests on stream. Major, you can derail the chat all you would like. You're in charge of it. Major stream after this. Derail? Pff. Yeah, we are no longer on the rails. We're in a different city. No one knows how we got here. Type in 50 will read it, 6 will half a dozen. Yeah. Yeah, you have 30 minutes to say. There were rails? If he already lived through it with limited trauma, I might add it. Didn't mess him up too bad. All I know about it, Major, is you told me you put up the thing on Craigslist and then nothing really came of it. No, that won't get enough for my. Aw, thank you, Major. I mean, if Gotham. Limited trauma is a great. Yes, that is true. Okay, gotta go. Be a mom, have a good stream. Alright, I appreciate you stopping by, Sylvie. Yeah, go do the mama stuff. Isn't Craigslist ads like top 10 easiest way to get murdered? I mean, I need to scroll way up. Way further. Murder some. Naughty dog. What? I have like 2 more lines of the outline to finish. We're alright. No, I'm not trying to think of a synonym. I'm just thinking about like, because I can see it playing in my head, so I'm just trying to get like the pacing of what happens the way I want it on the page. Rad loves cinnamon buns. Rad, that was a good one. Almost as good as these ads. Oh, Rad didn't even get to hear that one because he's in ad jail. Guessing it's just one R. Rad, Fitty said you're the funniest person he's ever met. Hmm. They seem very spaced out. That's better. Okay. Whoa, we're going out. Ugh. Oh, that's right. There's another scene I was supposed to write. Cut to Blackberry Prom Dead. Rad. Um, no, not a post-credit scene. I want to have a scene that shows what happened to the hunters. I will put that in our notes, so we will get to that. Um, is a post-credit scene that you... What? I thought it was supposed to be fade to... Yeah, a lot of times they will go fade to black. I like cutting to black. Um... Yeah, somewhere between this, I want a scene of someone asking Margaret what happened to the hunters, and then we'll show a quick shot of where they ended up. or paint it black, or color it black, or back in black. What about the Looney Tunes shrink to black? So we're currently at 107 and like a half. So okay. So yeah, we have our initial draft completed. Mariners has an idea? Uh-oh. All right. Yeah, we did the first part of the thing. Find out how the rooms didn't copy that. All right. Yeah, so this is...
Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me? 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 Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Major, thank you so much. So you got Duncan, Robbie, Mariners, Sylvie, and Ouija. Yep. Everyone but Rad. Sorry, Rad. Yeah, Mariners, during one of the earlier streams when I had first set that up, it started going and it just didn't stop. So it just I had to go in and like manually turn it off.
Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Aww. Rad doesn't get his ads anymore. Thank you, Major. You are the bestest. No Rad ads for Rad. Alright, so now first draft's done, but that does not mean the work is over. We got notes we gotta deal with. No, Rad, the work is not over. Alright, first things first. We need a title. Next script, we can talk about it. Thank you, Major. Yeah, we're making progress. We already did casting, Rad. The Witch and... Alright, so... one thing at a time. Let's talk about what is possibly next. And then we will come back and start talking over titles. Love Jessica Henwick though. I'll play her. Love it. her love interest is Helene Red, so sorry. Who is playing Hunter Miss Prime? We don't have anyone playing Hunter Miss Prime. We have to come up with a description for him. Alright. So, we'll make this larger. I'll be... no, Rad. That's, no. Anyway, moving on. So this is still a long ways out. We still have all our notes to go through, and then editing, and so there will be some time before we actually get started on our second project that we're going to write on stream. Mariners, I know who my money would be on in that. So currently have more than just 5, but we can kind of go over them. Some point I'll probably put up like a poll in chat. But I can just go over kind of what I'm thinking so far. And if anyone has questions, we can discuss them. Thank you, Mariners. Yes, that is our Discord if you would like to join. Like I said, when we get closer to actually starting something, I'll put the poll up and we will figure it out. I quoted you, Rad. Yeah. Don't let me tell you what to do. Alright. First on the list for ideas is Captain Marvel 3, as we'll call it here. This one I have an idea for that I think is pretty well along, that I could get into outlining pretty quickly because I have a good idea of what I would want the story to be, who the characters are I would want to include, and kind of the trajectory of the story. So the villain would be, there would be kind of a couple of villains. Basically my thought is, at the end of Captain Marvel, when she sends Balrog back to Hala to tell the Supreme Intelligence that she's coming to end it, Balrog goes back to Hala, tells the Supreme Intelligence this, and the Supreme Intelligence starts coming up with a new plan, knowing that Captain Marvel's going to come and destroy it, which you see in the Marvels. So the Supreme Intelligence basically puts up a fake version of itself while it's working underground with Balrog to come up with a plan of how to defeat Captain Marvel. This destroys a lot of the planet's resources, and that's what leads into basically the plot of what happens in the Marvels. And so in this one, we pick up after all of that, the Supreme Intelligence, with the help of Balrog, has figured out how Captain Marvel was created, and they decide to basically recreate their own version of Captain Marvel. And there's kind of a version in the comics of a character called Star, who is created using the Reality Stone instead of the Space Stone, which Captain Marvel was created using in the movies, not in the comic books. A whole other thing. BRB had too much water. Take care of yourself, Major. Go do what you gotta do. So basically it would be Captain Marvel trying to figure out what's happening. I would include bits of The Enemy Within, which is one of the more popular, more recent Captain Marvel stories. So she would basically, she has a lesion on her brain, and anytime she uses her powers, it basically makes it worse. So she would have to be very limited in her power use. But she finds this kind of rising threat on Hala. She doesn't know who's behind it. they reveal Star. Star can stand toe to toe with her, but is being controlled by the Kree, and so yeah, she's got everything against her, has to figure out how to overcome it all. Would you say you're a fan of the Marvel movies? Some of them, yeah. But kind of the big problem with talking about a Captain Marvel 3 is we don't really know where she's going to be after Doomsday and Secret Wars. So we'd be kind of assuming where the character would be starting. But like I said, I've been thinking about this one a little bit. I have some ideas and some other characters I would want to include in it. Second option, a DC character. My limits on this one, I'm kind of open to most characters. The limits I would put on it are no character who has had a TV show or movie before that has been the main character of their own TV series or movie before. So, like, no Wonder Woman, no Superman, Batman, Flash, Aquaman, Green Arrow, etc. AC? No, DC. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I have written already kind of a just for fun version of a Zatanna movie, so I would avoid writing another version of her, even though I really like her as a character. But she is also a witch, and so getting away from witch stories might be where we would want to go. But I'd leave it kind of broad and be open to suggestions for a DC character that we could look at and try to think about how to write an interesting movie around them. And kind of my approach to writing based on existing characters is just like understand the basics of the character, who they are, what their powers are, and create your own story based around it. So the thing I wrote for Zatanna was a story I completely made up. It was just using characters that are connected to Zatanna or to the magical area of the DC Comics in some way. Third up, we have something from mythology. There are lots of mythological stories that are interesting. I've written one about an aspect of Norse mythology, so I try to stay away from that one. But if there's cool stories based in the different world mythologies, that's something we can look into more and try to think about how to adapt that, either to show it as mythology or like reflect it some way in modern storytelling. An obscure DC hero would be fun, like Polka Dot Man worked well in Suicide Squad, sometimes like Kid Eternity, Tommy Tomorrow, or Captain Comet. Yeah, that's kind of what I like, because like Zatanna hasn't had her own movie before. I know she has her own comic series, but she's not like an A-list. She might not even be a B-list character, but I think she's really cool. Yeah, so taking a character that doesn't have a ton of baggage with them to be able to just be like, I think the idea of this character, their powers, their backstory are interesting, and then build something else on top of that. Next, we have our existing writing prompts. I can go back through those when we're getting closer, but it's the other 4 that we started off this one with. So we could go back to one of those if we wanted to. And then I put Metroid Prime. But this is kind of a stand-in for like basing a movie on a video game of some sort. Um, Metroid Prime would be kind of what I lean towards. I know very little about it except you have Samus Aran, cool armor, shoots aliens with the hand cannon thing. Um, Thanks, Mariners. Yeah, I'm just a big old nerd. Has there been a Star Fox movie? Or yeah, there are talks of a Star Fox movie. Spoilers: he made a cameo in Super Mario Galaxy movie. He was voiced by Glenn Powell. So everyone thinks that is likely going to be one of the next ones that Nintendo and I think Sony or whoever made the Super Mario Galaxy movies is going to do. Yeah. So, yeah, those are kind of the 5 ideas that I've been thinking about as possible next things we could work on stream. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is based on existing IP, but it's just like we talked about earlier, like anytime you write, anytime you put the effort in and make progress on something, like you're practicing, you're building your skill, and that's kind of what I want to do. Mario Galaxy was fantastic from Rad. Of course it was. It has Brie Larson in it. 50K spoiler warning for a cameo, but not 2-minute breakdown. Captain Marvel. Well, I mean, Captain Marvel also came out in what 2016, 2017, so it's almost a decade old. Whereas Mario Galaxy was released in the last 3 months, so that is why, Mariners. So, yeah, these are the ideas. If anyone has specific ideas for a DC character that they like or a story from mythology that they like, you can send it to me on Discord or next time we're in chat. Yeah, like I said, once we get closer, we'll put up a poll and go over these again. I was actually tossing around the idea with the guy you can translate any language ever around a little bit. Huh. Guy who can translate any language ever. Interesting. I mean, I say whatever you want, but I'd personally love to see you write your own Marvel or DC. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been thinking about the Captain Marvel one just as like a thought exercise. So actually writing it would probably be my preference just because it's taking up a lot of room in my brain. So it'd be kind of, it's the one that I've put the most thought into so far. It was one of the prompts you got from, oh yeah. Writing prompts. Yeah, so our writing prompts, I can go over them. We got a little bit of time left. Fans doing pro wrestling, you can call it fantasy booking. Yeah, so our original writing prompts that we talked about but didn't choose for this one. An official phone alert wakes you up. It says, do not look at the moon. You have hundreds of notifications, hundreds of random numbers sending, it's a beautiful night tonight. Look outside. And we talked about this being a sci-fi horror thriller with themes of peer pressure, information bubbles, and how we share information. The moon prompt one is very local 58. I do not know what that is. When you die, you appear, our second writing prompt, when you die, you appear in a cinema with a number of other people who look like you. You find out that they are your previous reincarnations. And soon you all begin watching your next life on the big screen. Remake code called Local 54. It's an analog horror channel on YouTube. Okay. Um, yeah, this one was an interesting idea, but when we started talking about it, there were definitely some practical things that we would have to probably change or adapt so that, because like a bunch of people who all look the same watching another version of themselves live out life isn't a very compelling movie, so there'd have to be some way for those watching the movie to interact with the person um, who is their next version. So that was one. This is the one. This is the one we started with. A woman has been dating guy after guy, but it never seems to work out. She's unaware that he's actually been dating the same guy over and over, a shapeshifter who's fallen for her, and is certain he's going to get it right this time. It is wild how we ended up where we are based on that writing prompt. So, yeah, like Vidsy had some ideas, and that really shaped a lot of it, being set in the past, the romantic version, finding the woman at different points in history. So I feel like that really started laying the groundwork for a lot of what it eventually became. Like Inside Out. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, the people in the theater would have to we'd have to figure out a way for them to like either get outside the theater or have some sort of influence on the person's life they're watching. I believe this is one Naughty Dog was referring to. Whenever you speak, people hear you speaking in their native language. Most people are surprised and delighted. The cashier at McDonald's you've talked to is horrified. Nobody's spoken that language in thousands of years. So we thought this would be a good setup for like a space action adventure, I believe. Silas, hi, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? Oh, we have two others. Then the last two, due to your nerdy great-grandfather in 2017 buying a star, some modern legal shenanigans, you are now the proud owner of a small intergalactic empire. Yeah, so we had some ideas about this, but this one I felt would be tough because I think we'd have to break it down to like two different timelines and then showing the great grandparent and then the current timeline. And question, yes, Mariners. Goodly just looking longingly at graphics cards I can't afford. Aren't we all? And then the last one is you discover a library with a biography for everyone on Earth. While reading your own, you notice whenever someone else is mentioned, there's a footnote showing where you can find their biography. It's odd how someone was only a sentence in your book has a whole chapter on you. So this one, I think Major brought up, it could be interesting to see, or rather, interesting to explore how our interactions with other people are interpreted by each person in the interaction. So it could be something interesting as kind of a basis to explore. If you're getting prompts from an online thread, are you ever worried others who may have written based on that before you? Not for this. So this specifically, I went into what I'm writing on stream is probably not going to become part of like my official portfolio. It's more, like I said, exercising, writing, and just trying to get better at the form and like test out my abilities, if that makes sense. But I did make sure with everything that we copied that I did my best to try to like trace everything back. So I copied the original, who the original user was, Vidsy, who suggested some of this, and then a lot of it was just me typing out wild stuff and kind of like bouncing back and forth with chat. So yeah, and then on like the title page even, I put, yeah, we probably need an extra space there. Yeah. Yeah, so I did all the actual writing of the text in the document, but the story was definitely by me and chat together. We also saw firsthand that the story changed dramatically from the first. Yes. Yeah, it definitely changed quite a bit from the original prompt to kind of just bouncing ideas off one another and just kind of throwing out stuff and seeing where we ended up. Writing prompts like this is good practice, not so much for writing an entire book or screenplay. Yeah, I mean, we wrote the entire screenplay, just because like I like completing the story, having the full arc of the characters. And so, but like I went into it fully well knowing that like this is practice, this is probably not something that will ever get produced. It's more, yeah, just testing myself, seeing if I could create an entire story based off of a single writing prompt. So, okay. Wow. I yapped a lot. Um, yeah, so as I was saying before, we went on a wild tangent about all the other stuff we may or may not eventually do on chat. Maybe we have enough time to get through this. So one thing I've been thinking about with the title for this is I think I want to play into something to do with like fire, flames, something like that. So there are two songs that I've been kind of going back to in my head as I've been thinking about it. Yeah, we want lyrics. And now. So the first one is Carry the Flame by my favorite band, Unleash the Archers. I'm guessing no one has heard these, but it's fine. Through the Fire and Flames by Dragon Force. No. So yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite songs. I love it. But the idea of the song in the chorus is something that I've been thinking a lot about for titles. So I don't know if any of these would be quite right for it, but something along like one of these lines. Like I like the line "Fire in the Night," but I don't know if that's too niche. But this is one I've been thinking about. Through the Fire and Flames is my thought too. I've seen UTA 2 to 3 times. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I have not seen them at all. I really want to, though. And then the other one is a song from Poppy called Halo. There's one line in here that I keep going back to. What's the ETA of UC and UTA? I don't know. It just depends on the next time they're out by me. I think they said this year they're taking off because they're working on a new album, and then 2027 they'll be touring again. So maybe around then. But yeah, and then in this song, I really like this line of "I'll follow where your light goes." So I was trying to think about like how to shape that in to a title and tying it back to like fire in some way. Doesn't take it doesn't take a year to make an album, but they've been on the road for probably the last year previous. And so like yeah, they're taking time off, they're doing pre-production, and then they'll go into production and promotion and music videos and all that stuff. So let's go. They're writing screenplays. So we'll just post those. Post those. Mariners. You have to remember they are metal musicians. Chances are they need to go back to their regular jobs when they're in the writing process. For most, yes, probably. I think they are probably big enough that they don't have other jobs, but I could be wrong. Oh, Mariners. Yes. They are... They're more like power metal. The first song I suggest you listen to is Awakening. Just FYI, Author Chrissy's live. Checking out some other options. Okay. Yeah, I just looked at the time and saw it was after 7. I wanted to get a title decided, but we can do that next time. So, yeah. We got through our first draft-ish. Yeah, some stuff to think about for titles. I'll try to think about it more and see if anything kind of like catches that I want to stick with. So, yeah. They have 185k monthly listeners to Spotify, so not yeah, they're definitely not huge, but yeah, and they aren't currently on tour, correct. I'm disappearing. All right. Yeah, we will go over there. Wrong stream, Mariners. We don't do that here. I'm just joking. Chat does whatever chat wants to do. All right. We got the stream started up. We are going to go over to author Chrissy. They are awesome. Oh, Major's on top of it. We got the raid commands. Now that we have more subscribers, people can use the subscriber one. The second one is for anyone who's following can use it. Yeah, thank you everyone. Stopped by, hung out, lurked, chatted, all the stuff, all the things. Major, you are the best with the 6 gifted subs. Yeah, we got the first draft done. Gonna think about titles, and we'll be back Sunday with going through the notes and trying to make improvements. I will also be on Yunsu's stream tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, doing the next chunk of the story from way back when. So I'll post up in the Discord 10-15 minutes before that starts for anyone who would like to stop by and hang out. I think that's all the stuff. So 4 p.m. Yeah. Everyone have a good rest of your week, and I will catch you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thanks for checking out my channel. Do whatever you want. Live your life. Hope you're happy in your body. Much love to you. And see you around.